morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Sutton Def, and you are listening to Sutton Reactions, episode 6. This is a show, a brand new show, obviously only 6 episodes in, where me, Sutton Def, will be reacting to anything and everything that you want me to react to. I know a lot of you guys are watching from the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel. If you are, salute to you. Shout out to the Rain Gang. But this is a new, kind of like a new thing that I've got going on that will be posted on the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel for now, but eventually will fully be on the Sutton Reactions YouTube channel. So if you do want to go ahead and subscribe to that, you can subscribe to Sutton Reactions. It's literally just how it's spelled right there. My name's Sutton, and then Reactions, how you see in the top left and the bottom left here. You can go ahead and subscribe because it'll exclusively, this show at least, will exclusively be over there on that channel eventually. And of course, I do these live in the mornings during the week. So I got to give a shout out to everybody who comes into the live chat as you guys trickle in. Make sure you leave, leave a little good morning for each other in there. We're a big happy family community here. Again, a lot of the Rain Gang in the house. We appreciate you guys each and every day. Ashley, one of our members here, says good morning, Sutton and everyone. Good morning, Ashley. What's going on, tours? Top of the morning to you, says Sutton Cuddy. Where did the Sutton Cuddy thing come from? I don't even know where that came from, but I mean, it's not the first time. It's not the first time that I've heard it. I'll say that. Brandon, good morning. What's going on? Zeke, good morning. Tila, another one of our members in the house and a moderator, right? So you got to make sure you keep your act together. Tila, appreciate you for coming through. Yeah. So again, episode 6, guys, of Sutton Reactions. We've been having a lot of fun with this so far. I mean, I've been having a lot of fun personally. Um, I look forward to doing this in the morning. I look forward to delivering this to you guys. So let's get into it. I mean, the format that we've been kind of going with so far has been working. We're reacting to some videos, and at the end, we have a nice little questions and a little community engagement, a little powwow. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. World class, what up, man? Appreciate you for coming through. Top of the morning. Okay. So why don't we just go ahead and hop right into the juicy stuff, right? Today we got some mildly important matters, right? And then we got the mess, right? We got to get a little bit messy. That's a little bit later on in the show. So make sure you stick around for that. Also, be sure to like this video. Leave a like on the video, thumbs up. It is free to do so. So if you want to support the channel, liking the video does so a whole lot. It goes a long way. It goes a very long way, guys. I know we say that all the time, but it does. Also, if you're part of the hashtag replay gang, which means you're not watching this live, there should be an option for you to like this video, but also to actually hype the video. Leave the little star points. It's like a new thing for the YouTube algorithm. I guess that helps out a ton. Anything, that's also free as well. I think you can do it up to 3 times a week. So if you decide to give us a hype here at this channel, whether it be on PRP or Sudden Reactions, we appreciate that. We appreciate that. World Class says this is a messy channel now. Hey man, I don't know. It's not a messy channel. I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but I do like to get into a little bit of messy topics here and there. We so serious. We so serious on PRP. I mean, talking about these Ravens, man. But here we can talk about anything. We can get in anything. Actually, let me see what you guys are saying in the chat here before we fully dive into the juicy topics we got today. Brandon Tillman says, Ravens could have won. Ravens could have won the Super Bowl a long time ago when we had Zegler. You mean Zeitler? If they had picked up Brandon from Washington Commanders when he went to Jacksonville, if we had picked him up, I guess maybe that means Zeitler. I'm not sure. Not sure. Ravens could have had a Super Bowl by now. I know we don't do a whole lot of Ravens on this show, but that's a fact. I mean, in the last what 5-6 years alone, Ravens should have probably walked away with at least two appearances, right? Maybe one win, but at least 2 appearances. But they didn't do it. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Chris M, another member in the house, says good morning. What's going on, Chris? Good morning to you. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. All right. Let's hop into it, guys. Let's hop into it. So let's go ahead and switch over here. So the first thing I wanted to talk about today is this NBA Cup, right? The NBA Cup just wrapped up last night. The Knicks beat the Spurs by however many points. I think it was like maybe 5 or 10 points, something like that. I don't know. But the Knicks beat the Spurs, and it kind of sparked the question because like when I saw the clock hit zero and the Knicks won, and I saw them celebrating so much, I felt nothing inside personally. I felt nothing. I was just sitting there like straight face, like, okay, I get it. This is supposed to like maybe mimic, right, the NBA finals. And for those of you guys who don't know, for those of you guys who don't watch the NBA, in the last 3 years, the NBA has been doing this thing called the in-season tournament, where basically they have a playoff tournament bracket right there in the middle of the season or somewhere in the first third of the season, somewhere in there, right? And the idea is to kind of raise the stakes of these games by making it tournament style, right? With an actual championship at the end of it and everything like that to drive more engagement to regular season NBA games. Because before, the NBA had a huge problem, and I mean a huge problem with people not tuning into their regular season games. I mean, you got to think about it. Every team plays 82 regular season games, 82 regular season games. And these games take place every day of the week. You know, it's just it's way too oversaturated, it's way too overstimulating even for basketball fans. And oh, by the way, they don't make it easy for basketball fans to watch these games either. You either have to have like League Pass, you have to have Amazon Prime, which is what the NBA Cup this year streamed on. You got to have this streaming service, that streaming service. So not only is it too much basketball to watch during the regular season, but it's not easy to access either. So the NBA was having a huge problem with their ratings going down for the regular season game. So they decided to do this NBA in-season tournament. And you might also ask yourself, well, I mean, why is this in-season tournament any more significant, right, than just a regular season game? Well, in reality, it's not. It is single elimination, so you do get you do get some sort of like, I guess you could say excitement there, right? However, the main reason why the NBA in-season tournament is designed at least to look more competitive is because they pay the players, I think they said like 50% of their salary for winning that championship, that in-season cup tournament. So when I saw the players celebrating, the announcer said that on the broadcast. He said, I mean, these guys just made like half of their salary for one game. That's why they're celebrating because it's like a huge bonus. So it's a huge incentive to go out there and actually win this tournament and make it look like it's competitive basketball, which I'm not saying it's not. It definitely was competitive basketball. But the problem is, and I'm going to get into what Charles Barkley had to say about this in a second, but the problem is, why should I care any more about regular season games, especially during football season? Football's dominating most days of the week now. Well, not most, but a good amount of days of the week. You get Monday night football, Thursday night football. Pretty soon we're going to have Saturday night football, right? And of course, Sunday, it owns Sunday. So, and then playoffs are right around the corner. So I just don't feel as inclined. And I know I'm more of a football guy than a basketball guy. Don't get me wrong. I love me some basketball. But I just don't feel as compelled to watch the NBA Cup, man. I mean, why should I care that these guys are getting paid $500,000 more dollars? If you could tie the NBA Cup into the playoffs some way, somehow, which right now it doesn't, then it would make more sense. Then it would make a lot more sense. But I've rambled a lot about this so far. I'm going to go ahead and play what Charles Barkley had to say about the NBA Cup and why he thinks it's actually embarrassing.
Tom, the ratings are good. I go, well, no shit, the ratings are good. It's an elimination game. People love elimination stuff, so they're going to watch it. But I don't like, I still think they should get rid of that. They won't. But what are your thoughts on those two things?
Well, number one, I think the cup thing is somewhat embarrassing. What I mean by that is I'm disappointed in my players that we're having, number one, God bless them for making money, okay? I'm disappointed that we have to make an in-season tournament to make these guys more money so they won't do load management.
Yeah.
So these guys, God bless them, making a lot of money. I never begrudged them because I didn't make it what they're making, but I made a great living. But have to pay these guys extra money to make them play other games. They should play basketball because they're well compensated to play basketball. To do an in-season tournament to make them extra money, come on, man, that's a little bit ridiculous. Now, the playing thing is actually kind of flipped for me.
Okay. Okay. So you get what the point of what Charles Barkley was saying right there. And I agree with him. I think Charles Barkley has a really good point. I will say this, I feel like Charles Barkley has a kind of a bias towards the way that NBA players are treated nowadays as opposed to how they were back when he was at the top of his game in the NBA, because you got to think about it. And I talked about this last week on the pod too. That generation, Charles Barkley, Michael Jordan, all those guys in that gen, they fought a lot harder, right? For a lot less, right? In comparison to what NBA players get paid today as opposed to back in their generation, players today get paid way more, right? And number two, it seems like they're a lot less emotionally uh 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 locked into the game, or invested into the game. It seems like nowadays, I mean, the guys are out there just really like collecting a check a lot of the times. You don't get a lot of like the fierce competition. Like again, I was talking about this the other day. You don't get a lot of the fierce rivalries and things like that anymore. So it feels like for a guy like Charles Barkley, hey, these young cats are getting paid more than me. They're trying less than me. They're load managing. They're not even playing back-to-back games, right? Like the referees, they don't even let these guys get physical with each other anymore, right? And you're telling me that there's an in-season tournament now to incentivize them just to play hard, which we used to do on a night in and night out basis, just for the love of the game. And you're going to pay them extra just to do that, just so they're not sitting on the bench, right? Just because they have a back-to-back. I get it from Charles Barkley's perspective. I mean, as an older guy, which Charles Barkley is, I mean, he's got a point. He's got a point. I kind of see his grievance there. I see his grievance. It may seem like he hating, but it's I think he's definitely got a point. World Class says, well, Sutton, with the in-season tournament, there is a chance to create a triple crown narrative, I guess, with the in-season championship, conference championship, and finals championship. Yes, that's true. You could create that narrative. Now, I don't know if, because obviously to get the finals championship, you got to win the conference championship. And then if you win the in-season tournament as well, I guess you could call that a triple crown. Sure. I just don't know how much that narrative really does for the average fan, which is me. I just don't really care. I just don't really care that, they have this in-season tournament thing, man. It's just not really a thing. Like, save the playoffs for the playoffs. If anything, if you want to fix the regular season, just shorten the regular season. Just shorten the regular season. Like, we don't have to have 82 games, right? And now you've got guys load managing. They're not playing as many. Each game should feel like a spectacle, not just another run-of-the-mill Tuesday night, you know, Knicks versus Rockets. You know what I mean? Like, each game should feel like an actual event. Bring back rivalries in the sport. I don't know how you do it. I mean, we talked about it last week. A lot of these kids don't have that edge to them to really like have real legitimate rivalries. A lot of these guys know and just like each other too much, and they just go out there and they just compete like it's their job. So I don't know. Adding all the extra bells and whistles to the regular season is just not for me. Just not for me, man. Just not for me. Playing hard is playing defense. That's true. Again, like I said, the refs, man. Refs letting them off. NFL and NBA want those playoff numbers all season long, and they're doing anything. Yeah, I mean, well, when you are promising the likes of Amazon Prime Video and Netflix, and Hulu, if you're promising them banger events, you kind of got to deliver, you got to deliver. Uh, Sutton, the next game will never be the same. Vegas is taking control Sutton, the game will never be the same. Vegas is taking control of the NBA and NFL next. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I totally agree. And this was held in Vegas too. I believe it was at the Sphere, which is cool. It's like a destination thing. Like if you're on vacation or something like that, you happen to be in Vegas, it'd probably be cool to go to the NBA Cup in-season tournament game at the Las Vegas Sphere. That would be dope. That'd be cool. But again, I felt nothing. I felt nothing watching that on TV last night. And I made it a point to watch it because once I found out that it was the finals of the NBA Cup, I was like, okay, let me tune in. Victor Wembanyama versus Jalen Brunson and those boys. And by the way, they didn't even really go off the way that I thought that they would. I think Wemby finished with like maybe less than 20 points. Jalen Brunson maybe had like 24 or something like that. So it was a good game, not a great game. Just again, not for me. Not for me. Not for me at all. Zeke Okage says NBA should allow players to fight, like a quick 30-second fight. I agree. I agree. Be honest with you. I agree, because why are they allowed to fight in hockey, but not anywhere else? Somebody answer me that question. Why is fighting allowed in hockey, but it's not allowed in the NFL, the NBA, hell, MLB, right? Anywhere else, it's like demonized, but in hockey, it's celebrated for some weird reason. Weird, isn't it? Weird. Swift J says, hell no, they make too much money. What's going on, Jalen? Appreciate you for coming through, man. Yeah. They do make a lot of money, and they don't wear any headgear. That is the difference between NHL and basketball. I mean, in the NHL, a lot of those guys, they still wear the headgear. Sometimes they take it off, though. But it's just so dangerous, bro. I can only imagine skating on ice, right, and throwing hands with somebody. That's insane. That's insane. But they do make too much money. Torres says, you know why, Sutton? I do. I do. I do. I mean, if we just being honest, I think that it just looks away when you have black guys throwing hands. Just saying. It just looks away. Like with the guys in hockey, it looks like, barbaric. Oh, this is a gladiator sport. This is just the culture. It's like, honestly, it's an American culture thing. But with black dudes, when they're throwing hands, it just looks bad. It looks violent, right? To the masses. I think about like fights like Andre Johnson and Cortland Finnegan back in the day. Like people were like concerned, like, oh my God, like this looks dark, for lack of better words. And that's the difference. That's the difference. Like, I don't think people really want to see that. It's what it is. It is what it is. That's why you like the NHL. Yeah, I mean, I used to be a fan of the Philadelphia Flyers. I used to love the Flyers growing up, but haven't really watched the NHL lately. Torres says Wemby is cheating. He needs to retire early. How is that fair? I don't know. I mean, what I saw from Wemby last night, man, he didn't look quite as dominant as he normally does, as I expected him to. And maybe he's still working his way back from injury. I think this was only his second game back after injuring something, probably somewhere in his lower half. But no, he didn't look quite as dominant as I thought he would. He was missing a lot of threes, right? He was missing a lot around the basket, which is like, bro, you're like 7 foot forever. Just like dunk it over everybody. I don't know. Like, I thought he like, he put on some weight or some muscle, a little bit of muscle in the off season, and came back kind of like bodying dudes early in the season. And again, maybe it's just the injury that's holding him back right now. Got to see what he does down the stretch of the season, and if he can just stay healthy. I mean, that's the most important thing. If he can just stay healthy. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on to our next topic here. Let's see, what do we got? Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do. Let's go ahead and transition into something totally different. So yesterday, it was announced, and this is per Discussing Film, which is a very I love this Twitter account, X account, whatever you want to call it. Instagram is being added to television. Like officially. I don't think I've ever seen an Instagram app on a smart TV, but apparently they're coming. It says users will be able to watch Instagram Reels on their televisions. Now, when I saw this, I was thinking like to myself, this was a problem that absolutely nobody had. Why in the world do we as consumers who are literally on our phone for what 60% of our days or something crazy like that, why do we also need these brain rot social media apps on the big screen television? For one thing, for one thing, look, Instagram Reels are cropped vertically, right? For portrait style viewing. Why do I want to watch that on a television that's meant for landscape viewing? That doesn't make any sort of sense to me. No sort of sense at all. So I'm kind of wondering like the intent and just kind of like the overall purpose of a move like this. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me at all. Um, I guess those who are addicted to it will be able to just go ahead and I don't know. I mean, have at it on the big screen. I just, what are you missing from watching it on your phone that you're gonna get on the TV? Just doesn't make sense. Doesn't add up. Doesn't add up. Ain't nobody using that exactly. Nobody asked for this. Lord have mercy. It's weird, and I don't know how I feel about it either. They're really trying to make us brain dead. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Won't be added to my TV either. Won't be added to my TV either. It's and honestly, like your phone is something that like it's so cool because like you can watch TV. You can actually watch real TV and be on your phone at the same time. You know, like that's the beauty of it, right? Like who wants to literally have what's on their phone on the television? I don't get it. I don't get it. Put it back in chronological order is all I wanted. You can actually do that. You can actually do that if you go on the app and you click on the oh shoot, let me bring up my because I forget where it's at all the time. But that's definitely a thing. You can bring it back to chronological order if you just click on Instagram at the top of the app, then you just hit following, then it'll put just basically all your followers' posts in chronological order. That's how it used to be on Instagram. I remember the good old days of Instagram when it was just, people posting Chipotle bowls and, what they were doing over the weekend and posting pictures with friends side by side. You know what I mean? Like family stuff. Like it was real wholesome and random. Now everything's very performative, you know. And I guess for some people, like Instagram is like their kind of like their newspaper, their social newspaper. For me, it's like Twitter. I love Twitter because I love to read. I love to stay informed, things like that. But I understand a lot of people are more visual people, as opposed to actual readers and thinkers and things like that. A lot of people are visual. It's easier to consume that way. And maybe for some people, putting it up on their smart TV and being able to scroll with the remote, maybe it works better for them, but not for me. Not for me. Tori says I had to remove the app for a week, and not gonna lie, it was a relief. Yeah, it can be very overstimulating. It can be very overstimulating. All the stuff that the algorithm throws at you. Algorithms in itself are really like really doing a number on our mentals. A big one. So that's just I agree. I might have to sign off from it for a little while too. If I didn't use it for like social media promotion and stuff like that, I would definitely not be on it as much as I am, because it's just a lot. It's just a lot. And maybe we can get into that another day. We can get into that another day. But let's move along here. Instagram is coming to TVs. Oh, another thing. What was it? Something else on this discussing film account that came out yesterday. It was about Netflix. Netflix, and actually, there's some podcasts that are coming to Netflix. So now Netflix is stepping into the podcast space. And oh, by the way, remember we talked about last week how the what was it? Netflix was trying to acquire Warner Brothers, but then Paramount came in and offered more money for Warner Brothers. Apparently, it's come out that Netflix is going to win that bid to buy Warner Brothers because Warner Brothers thinks that Netflix has the better value on their deal. So Netflix getting Warner Brothers soon, and they're also starting to get podcasts now too. There's a lot of news on this thing. I didn't even go through all of this. Oh, what are they saying about Avengers? They said the first teasers for Avengers Doomsday and Spider-Man Brand New Day have both leaked this week already. Oh, shoot. Let me see it because we're reacting to that. We're reacting to that. What is this? Hold on. That looked like iRobot right there. They need to remake iRobot. I heard they're remaking I Am Legend 2. Did I see it on this? K-pop Demon Hunters. That's an interesting one. I saw some news yesterday that I want to bring up about that after this. That actually reminds me. Dang, I can't even find it on here now. Maybe it wasn't on here. Let me just type in Netflix podcast. Netflix podcast. Because they're bringing a bunch of different podcasts to Netflix, which I don't know how I feel about that because I really don't know. Again, I really don't know how I feel about. Here it is. Here's the news right here. Netflix kind of branching out into being more than just being a niche service that offers you good television and movies. Right now, it's like I gotta rely on Netflix for my live shows, my sports in certain areas. Also, got to rely on them for podcasts too. Like, it feels like we're overlapping a little bit too much. You know what I mean? Like, because YouTube takes care of all the podcast stuff. YouTube takes care of, you have audio podcasts, video podcasts, post it all for free. Now a lot of people are using Patreon. And now it's like we're going over to Netflix. I just like my podcasts in one or two places. I don't like them in too many places. Eventually it's going to be, Netflix is going to have like an open source sort of content space where you can just upload your own videos to Netflix. And pretty soon this podcast will be on Netflix, right? That's God willing. Anyways, let's see here. Netflix lands exclusive video deals for 15 iHeartMedia podcasts. The partnership announced Tuesday brings video versions of hits including Charlamagne the God's Breakfast Club, Bobby Bones, Bobby Cast, Chelsea Handler's Dear Chelsea, and true crime favorite My Favorite Murder to Netflix in the U.S. from early 2026, with global plans ahead. iHeartMedia retains all audio rights for platforms like Spotify and Apple Podcasts, while video stay Netflix only. Fans celebrate wider access for these culture-shaping programs, even as some miss free YouTube viewing and others reference past controversies around certain hosts. This bolsters Netflix push into video podcasts, now eyeing nearly 30 shows for 2026. So, yeah, I mean, people are kind of pushing back on it, where they say there even as some miss free YouTube viewing and others reference past controversies around certain hosts. I mean, the host is one thing, right? But my bigger point was like, YouTube is supposed to be the home for a lot of this different content that's now being kind of swept up and put into like these major networks and these major studios and companies, which is, great for them, right? I'm sure Netflix is going to pay these guys a good lump sum of money, good chunk of change, But I think, again, for the consumer, just kind of spreads you too thin. Like now, because a lot of these podcasts were available for free on YouTube. So imagine if you didn't have Netflix, you just didn't really care for Netflix, and you just watched all these podcasts or listened to them for free, either on Spotify or YouTube or Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your stuff. And now all of a sudden it's like, okay, now your favorite podcast is on Netflix. It's not your favorite podcast is on Netflix. That game you want to watch next week, or that fight you want to watch this Friday, Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua, that's going to be on Netflix. Which I guess I can talk about that too later. But it, again, it's just too much. I feel like the whole monopoly thing is taking over, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Baby's gonna give me a coffee. Thank you, baby. Got me a coffee, guys. Yeah, I might be able to pod another hour with this. That's good. How are y'all feeling about this? Netflix and podcasts. Let me see what y'all are saying in the chat. Breakfast Club with Dame Dash is hilarious. I like the Breakfast Club. I mean, it does feel a little bit, like they're stuck between traditional radio hosting and podcasting. Like you can tell they want to be both, right? And I think that with this move to Netflix for the Breakfast Club, they're going to become a lot more podcasty. It's going to be a lot more podcasty. I'm just saying. Charlemagne himself is already on a bunch of different podcasts. He's on the Brilliant Idiots with him and Andrew Scholes. He does another one, I believe, on his own or with somebody else. But yeah, he's they're definitely going to podcast. Tila says AI has taken over, and I'm over it already. Yeah, I mean, for me, the AI conversation, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into the AI conversation. Maybe not today, but I have a lot to say about AI. I do. Some good, some bad, but overall a lot to say. Tori says we got iRobot 2 Sutton. LOL, it's AI. You're right, but no, the real thing is coming. The real thing is coming for sure. For sure. Is it tasty? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm not even a huge coffee guy. But that's good though. That's good. Zeke says the coffee looks great. It does. It does. I need it. I need it. Need a shoulder shimmy with it. You talking about that Shaq gift where he's like, ooh, like I don't know. I don't know what he does. Let me not. Ooh. Ooh. The Shaq shimmy. Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Let me see. Okay. Let me go out of here. What else do we got? Oh, what did I say yesterday? I wanted to bring up. And I got to do some more research on this. So we're just going to do that in real time. We're going to do that in real time here. I saw this tweet yesterday. And it kind of threw me off a little bit. It was this news about Jay-Z partnering with Hanwha Group, which I believe is some sort of Korean company or whatever, to invest over $500 million in Korean culture and K-pop. The funds will support various aspects of Korean lifestyle and culture, including K-pop, entertainment, food, beauty, and more. Now, K-pop, for those of you guys who don't know, is Korean pop, which is absolutely huge. Of course, over in Korea, but not only there. Now it's huge in the United States. I don't know how many of you guys are in close proximity to younger children. And I'm talking, ages what? Maybe like 5 to 12, 13, I would guess. They love this stuff. K-pop Demon Hunters is a show that I think is on Netflix that of course it's originated in Korea. And I'm not exactly sure what they do. Maybe they're hunting demons in it, but I don't know. But the kids love it. They eat it up. And there's a lot of money. Of course, anything that kids are interested in will keep them busy and entertained. Parents are going to pour money into it to keep their kids busy and entertained. And so, yeah, this K-pop thing is like I'm sure billions of dollars is generating billions of dollars, right? I've never really heard of this stuff. I mean, I've listened to a couple of different songs, but you know, I don't speak the language. I can't really relate to the culture, nothing like that. So it doesn't really do anything for me. But for these kids, it does a lot, a whole lot. Tori says my daughter loves K-pop Demon Hunters. With the tired, the exhausted emoji. It's like, where are we going as a society? How did we get here? How did we get to a point where like American children are like feeding off of the nipple of Korean culture? When did that happen? Like when did we lose the what happened to SpongeBob? What happened to Rocket Power? What happened to, you want to take it way back? What happened to shows like the Jetsons? What happened to American TV? Where like, I'm not saying that American is pound for pound better than Korean entertainment or culture. I'm not saying that, but it just feels weird. You know what I mean? Like, because I don't think you would see this type of influence from an American program in Korea. So it's just weird to me that like kids from all over America are locked in. They're locked into this. It's kind of weird. Ashley says it's a great movie. I thought it was a show. I thought it was a show. Tori says I don't watch it, but I got to play the music when they in the car. Yeah, I saw a lot of people Spotify Wrapped had K-pop Demon Hunters on it. That and Miss Rachel. You know what I'm saying? I don't got kids, so I can't relate, but it seems like a lot. But back to Jay-Z here. Back to Jay-Z. And you know what? I actually want to bring up an article on this. Jay-Z, K-pop. Let me see. Because I want to know. It's like I get why he's making an investment like this. Here's an article. Here's an article. Share this. Jay-Z's investment firm buys in a $500 million K-pop joint fund. Let's read this. Because like my thing is, why invest into this? I mean, I get it. It's Jay-Z's a businessman, all about making money. All about making money. He is I believe he's a billionaire. Now his net worth has crossed that threshold. And I think with that type of money and power comes a little bit of responsibility. That's just me. When I say responsibility, I do mean responsibility to his community. And the problem that I have with Jay-Z, and I'm going to read this article, but the problem that I have is like, investing $500 million in Korean culture, expecting to get a return on that investment because you see what it's doing to American children. Cool. I mean, that'll be great to continue to build your empire of generational wealth. Awesome. But at the same time, as one of the few and black creators in the space, you know what I mean? Like who have that amount of capital, I feel like there should be something that you do for your own community as well. I mean, some of the neighborhoods he came from were rough, and I'm not sure exactly what he does for them, other than campaign to get a casino put in New York or disseminate Douce, the liquor brand, all over the world, all over the country. I don't really see too much, but let's just see. Let's just see what this is here. Jay-Z's investment firm, Marcy Penn Capital Partners. Get that out of here. Capital Partners has partnered up with Korea's Hanwha Asset Management to tap into the global demand for K-pop and other Korean culture through a $500 million joint venture fund. The deal arrived on Tuesday, December 9th, after Hanwha Asset Management signed a memorandum of understanding with Marcy Penn Capital Partners, a U.S. private equity firm backed by the rapper, to support the global expansion of high potential companies in Korean culture and lifestyle. I mean, it's just like, you couldn't have done that over here. You know what I mean? And I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Not for me. Not for me. Let me see what else here. South Korea is a cultural nexus of Asia, influencing global trends in beauty, content, food, entertainment, and lifestyle, making it the ideal gateway for our partnership with Hanwha. Robbie Robinson, managing partner and chief executive officer of Marcy Penn, said in a statement. So yeah, this just sounds like a great investment that should be a come up for Jay-Z. And that's the thing. Like, I guess at a certain point, when you have like over, like, when you have more money than you already know what to do with, why is the only goal making more money and hoarding it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I get it. You want to keep multiplying and multiplying and multiplying. And I get, for some people, that's all they want to do. Me, you know, if I was in this position, which I'm not, but if I was, I would just see myself being a little bit more philanthropic, especially towards, my own communities and things that I've seen. 'Cause it's like, what do you really know about Korean culture to really throw 500 half $1 billion at it? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It just doesn't really sit right with me. It doesn't really sit right with me, to be honest with you. But let me see here. Guess we'll have to continue to monitor that, because I want to see if he gets a return on this investment. Who knows how long it'll take? But again, the K-pop thing is huge, so I'm sure he will be getting a return. I'm sure he's going to get a return on that. Let me see. But I just wanted to touch on that really quickly. It actually wasn't even what I came here to talk about. Okay. All right. Let's get messy. Let's get messy. Okay. Here's a video that I saw. You have a single mom who is upset that her baby's father, who she's not with, of course, instead of sending her money for groceries for her children, he ordered her groceries and got them sent to her house. Let's take a listen.
Deliver the stuff, pick what he want to, and have it delivered himself. Come here, come back here. You come back here. Leave him alone. Come back here. He, instead of sending me the money, he didn't have the groceries delivered. You don't know what my kids want. You don't know what my kids like. That's me. You buying stuff off of what you like, and because I told him, I needed tissue and I was out and I needed some groceries, and he done went shopping online and had some groceries delivered. That ain't what I wanted. I wanted you to send me the money so I could shop my own stuff. So me and my kids could eat what we want to eat, not what you want, the stuff you like. This was not it.
What y'all think about that? Because, like, I see it two ways. One, yes, it is petty. It's a petty move from the dad. It's a very petty move to just go ahead and be like, instead of sending you the money so you can go out and shop for yourself, because I don't know what you cook in the night or tomorrow night or the night after that. You know what I mean? I don't know what exact ingredients you need to make this meal or that meal in your household. So I'm just sending you the money. But instead, he sends her a full set of groceries. I mean, this is a lot of stuff too. I mean, if you know how much groceries cost, I mean, this is probably like a good, depending on what's in some of them bags, a cool $150, I would say. Depending on what's in some of those bags and how much, right? But at the same time, there has to be something that we're missing here. Maybe it's the fact that in the past, he sent her money for groceries before for their child. And again, I'm just speculating here. And in the past, she's taken a good chunk of that money and done something totally different with it and repurposed it, right? And only got but so much groceries for the child. And maybe when he went to go pick up the child one day or whatever, I don't know what their situation is like, but that's what it sounds like. It sounds like he knows something about this woman that we don't. She's saying, like, you went and brought groceries. I told you I needed some paper towels, I needed some napkins, and you went ahead and you bought me some paper towels and napkins. What the hell? That's giving, like, I had other plans for that money that you were going to send me. I was going to go get some groceries. Maybe not that much, but I had some other plans, right? And maybe when my check came in a week or so, I was actually going to go really grocery shopping. But I was just telling you, I need some groceries now just to get some money to get by until payday. Maybe that's, maybe, again, pure speculation, but it sounds like we're missing something here. Got her a lot of stuff. That's for sure. Definitely got her a lot of stuff. Tila says, I mean, I see her point, but he could have done nothing. Now she can use her money and get what she doesn't have. That's true. That's true. Which, again, I don't think you're so and that's the funniest thing about this. I don't think she would be so mad if she had her own money. I don't think she has her own money. Because, like, why would you, if you see all these groceries show up at your doorstep and you didn't have to come out of your pocket for any of it, the only reason you would be upset about that is if you also didn't have any money in your pocket. Because it's just like, okay, yeah, this food is going to help, but she probably got other stuff to pay too. You know, other bills, other house bills. So it's a tough situation. Tora says mom's low key right. I mean, I agree. Like, you can't, like, because the thing is, obviously they're not together anymore. So you're gonna put the food that you think is suitable in your baby mother's house instead of just giving her the money and trusting the mother of your child to. Again, this comes down to a trust thing. Obviously, he don't trust her. Obviously, there's no trust in this relationship, which is very toxic when it comes to, you know, co-parenting a kid. If there's no trust between the two parents, that makes things tough. And I think that you can see that the baby in this video here is crying, stuff like that. It's just not a good look. Not a good look at all. Not a good look. Let me see. Void says last finals of the semester before I go home today. Oh, good luck on those finals, man. Good luck on those finals. Then come on home. Come on home. I know you can't wait, man. Enjoy the time. The winter break with the fam. Definitely, man. Knock out those finals and get home safe. For sure. Let me see. Tila says, why does everything need to be blasted though? I don't know. I assume this probably got out on Facebook first. If this video were real, I would assume this came out on Facebook. It's probably where it made its debut on the internet. But yeah, I don't know what would be the goal. Like, what does this accomplish? Right? Who's gonna see this and be like, you know, maybe you get some validation from some of your friends in your direct circle, like, oh, he ain't shit, girl. He should have just sent you $300 instead of sending a bunch of groceries to your house that you don't even know what you want. He probably didn't even get the right brand names, right? And then, you know, he had Instacart drop it off. It was probably a male shopper. You know, they don't know what they're doing in the stores, which a lot of them don't. When I was doing Instacart a couple of years ago, I was very bad at shopping. I'm not gonna lie to you, very bad. It's hard. It's very hard. I think it's just for clicks and views. People just want they love the attention. That's for sure. People definitely love the attention. That is for sure. Okay, let me see. Let me see. Definitely cringy. I don't believe in exposing people either, Taurus. I really don't. I really don't. Okay. All right. That's one messy thing. Let's get into something else messy. Another messy topic here. Here we go. All right. So this one is an interesting one to me. It's about gym etiquette, right? And knowing when or when not to talk to somebody in the gym or bother somebody in the gym. This one's about a young lady who felt like she was bothered by a man in the gym. Let's take a listen to what she had to say.
I'm in the gym and you're a man and you see me doing the exercise wrong, do not take the opportunity to walk up to me and tell me the correct way to do it. I was in the gym the other day and I was doing lat pull downs. Had my headphones on. I was in the zone. I was going. All I know is a man, I see him in my peripheral and he's over there like, hey, like doing something. So I slide my headphone off and he's like, hey, you want to pull it right here because you could hurt your rotator cuff. I said, okay, how you know I don't like my rotator cuff a little hurt? Like, I don't like no man telling me nothing. Don't. And then now I'm working out in the gym and I'm like, damn, are you watching every exercise that I do to make sure I'm doing it right? Leave me alone. Don't tell me nothing. Like,
So I feel her though. I feel her though on this one. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't. Okay, I don't know how many of you guys watching go to the gym, right? But the gym, while it can be a public space, of course, for everybody to, get their workout in, obviously you have eyes, you're going to look around, you're going to see other people, you're going to see other people doing things. A lot of times you're just kind of like, your eyes just wandering around. You might see somebody doing a set and you might see them having bad form or something like that. I am of the school of thought to just mind your own damn business. You don't know the story of anybody in that gym. You know what I mean? You don't know what they might be dealing with that day, what they might be going through. You know what I mean? And just how embarrassing it is for in a public space, in a public gym where like everybody wants to, of course, at least look like they know what they're doing. How embarrassing would it be if somebody came up to you and tapped you on the shoulder and said, "Hey, you're doing this wrong. Make sure you do this way." And it's like, okay, bro, well, I didn't ask for your advice. You know what I mean? Like everybody, like even though you're in a public space at a gym, you should be locked in. Again, you're gonna have like wandering eyes. Of course, you're gonna see things because you have eyes, but you should be locked in and fully focused mentally only on what you got to do at the gym. That's just me. And women specifically do not want to be talked to at the gym. Newsflash: they do not want to be talked to. You know, so it's just like, and I get it. I get it. It's not, the gym is not the club, right? I know some people dress like it is. Some people act like it is, but it's not. It's supposed to be a safe haven for you to kind of just be in your own world, be in your own bubble, and work out. You know what I'm saying? Like don't be trying to mix it up with people and say don't be trying to mix it up with people and correct them on what they're doing. I just don't agree with that. Let me see. Jessica says she's canceled. Canceled is crazy. Why is she canceled? As an exercise science major, let that rotator cuff get hurt and watch how your day gets scuffed. I mean, if you see somebody, I feel like the only time that you should like really go over and like talk to somebody in the gym and like try to like help them out with what they're doing is if they're struggling on a set. Like if they're bench pressing and they can't get the weight up off them, right? And they don't have a spotter, then yeah, maybe head over there and help them out, offer up your help or something like that. But just like unsolicited advice, it's cringy. It is. It just is, man. Get in there, get your workout in, and go the hell home. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about what you have to say. You are a stranger. Like, and again, it embarrasses the person who you're doing it to. You may think that you're helping. You may think that you're just the best, like just a good Samaritan, right? You may think that, but all you're really doing is just embarrassing the person, you know. And it especially happens when women get that advice from men, because not often has this happened to me. This might have happened to me like maybe one time. I don't even know if it has, to be honest with you, but I've been in situations where, I've been working out and like maybe a guy will come up to me and say like, "Oh, I see how you're doing this workout, bro. I mean, it looks good." Like I would just suggest, yada yada. Yeah, I feel like brother to brother, like male to male, is cool, but you can make a woman feel uncomfortable if you approach her in a vulnerable space and you basically tell her that she's doing something wrong. You may ruin the entire mentality of her workout, because I guarantee you she might be thinking about that interaction for the rest of her workout, and it might distract her. You know, it's just me. It's just me. Maybe he was a personal trainer. Who knows? Hmm. Hmm. You guys are against me on this one. He didn't ask for her number, Sutton. Sure, but she didn't ask for his advice. You know, it's just one of those things. People want to be in their own world. Let them. You know, like let them. I don't know. You could probably point out to a lot of people. I could point out to a lot of people in the gym who do certain exercises with the wrong form. But I don't go up to each and every one of them and tap on their shoulder while they're mid set. You know, if they got headphones on blasting and say, hey, I think you should actually be doing it this way instead of that way. And it's like, well, who the hell are you? Who the hell am I? You know? Kwame says that you can't talk to anyone now. No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I think that, the gym community is really cool because, you can build relationships and acquaintances and even friendships in the gym. So it's not that you can't talk to anybody. I just think that there's a way of going about like giving advice to someone. I mean, if it's unsolicited, it might not go over well. Not everybody's going to respond to it the same way. Some people might be like, "Oh yeah," some people might be really receptive. But I would say in these scenarios, I think it's better to err on the side of caution. If you want to, and especially don't interrupt somebody mid-set. You know what I mean? If you want to like be genuine, right? Maybe wait till they're fully done with their set. They're not busy, right? You can go tap them or flag them down or try to get their attention or something like that and say a few words. That's fine. That's fine. But I just think that like, kind of going into somebody's space just to tell them, hey, you're doing that wrong. Right? Like I see what you're doing it wrong. It's like, first of all, why are you watching me? Why are you paying that much attention to me? To where you feel the need to come up to me and tell me that I need to fix what I'm doing in this gym. I don't know. Seems a little bit too much. Coach, what's going on? Coach is in the building. See, Coach gets my point. I barely even speak in a public gym. Because what's there to talk about? Nothing. I'm locked in. I got my headphones in. I got my music going or a podcast rolling or something like that. Probably got a podcast rolling, listening to one of my Ravens guys. I don't need to. It's just not important. It's just not important enough to me. Kwame says, I go to the gym early, super early, to avoid people thinking you're staring or recording you. Yeah, a lot of people record. Void says, I get that, but poor workout form is a very risky thing. At least he addressed her one-on-one. That's true. That's true. That's true. Again, I just think there's a certain way to go about it. Let me actually listen to this video one more time. I'll play it one more time just so I can get all the context pieces from it. One more time.
I'm in the gym and you're a man and you see me doing the exercise wrong. Do not take the opportunity to walk up to me and tell me the correct way to do it. I was in the gym the other day and I was doing lat pull downs. Had my headphones on. I was in the zone.
Now, another thing, really quick. I feel like sometimes the intention behind these interactions can come into question as well. Because I feel like there's some guys out there, trust and believe me, there are some guys out there who will go and offer this unsolicited advice as a means to get somewhere further in conversation with this girl. And I would challenge these same men. I would ask them, like, hey, like, if you did not find this woman in the least bit attractive, but you saw her doing an exercise slightly wrong or whatever, would you take your time to go and correct her? I guarantee you a lot of guys probably would say no. That might hurt some egos, but it's true. I don't even think you would have given this woman the time of day if you weren't the least bit interested and you just wanted to find a reason to talk to her. A lot of guys, that's what it is, just trying to find their way in, Not all of it's genuine. Not all of it's like, because again, most people aren't fitness coaches. A lot of people who offer unsolicited advice in the gym are not fitness coaches. They're not personal trainers. They're just dudes who go to the gym. People who go to the gym, just like everybody else. You know, so again, sometimes the intention can come into question. You know, again, the gym is a vulnerable spot for a lot of people, including women. I just say, as a general rule of thumb, leave people the hell alone. Leave them alone. Let me just keep listening to this though.
I was going. All I know is a man. I see him in my peripheral, and he's over there like doing something. So I slide my headphone off, and he's like, "Hey, you want to pull it right here because you could hurt your rotator cuff." I said, "Okay." How you know I don't like my rotator cuff a little hurt? Like, don't.
Now that's crazy. Now that's crazy. I'm not gonna lie. That's crazy. But clearly this interaction made her feel uncomfortable.
I don't like no man telling me nothing. Don't. And then now I'm working out in the gym, and I'm like, damn, are you watching every exercise that I do to make sure I'm doing it right? Leave me alone.
Yeah, because obviously, like you're watching. You know what I'm saying? Like it just makes people feel uncomfortable. Void says, and you're a man. She says, if it's a woman, would it then be fine? Yeah, I think so, Void. Honestly, that's kind of like my entire point that I'm getting at. I think it just hits different when it's coming from the opposite sex. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things where, again, the gym is a vulnerable place for everybody. There's a reason why there's men's locker rooms and women's locker rooms, right? Because we have our differences. You know what I mean? And like a compliment coming from, if you're a woman, a compliment coming from a man feels drastically different than a compliment coming from a woman. And I know every woman in this chat right now can agree with that. You know? So like unsolicited advice, it's the same thing. It's the same rule of thumb. You know what I mean? Like imagine if a guy was working out and doing lat pull downs, and a woman saw he was doing it wrong, and she walked up to him and say, "Actually, you know what? You need to be doing it this way because if you do it that way, you're gonna hurt yourself." He might say, "Oh, okay, appreciate it, thanks." But then after she walks away, he's gonna be like, "What the hell just happened?" You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things, right? It's one of those things. One of those things. Situation does seem trivial. It definitely does seem trivial. I don't care to speak to random people in real life. I do. The white people, I call it the cop smile. Hey, Taurus, that one goes a long way. That smile, that little half smile, you know, where you don't show no teeth, it goes a long way. It goes a long way in communication. Jessica says, what? Oh, she literally said, what if I wanted it to hurt? Like, come on, you got to be serious. Not because you didn't need or wanted to be approached, but like what? Oh, Jess. Oh, Jess. Kevin Ostriker face. What Kevin Ostriker face? Or she could have said thank you and kept lifting, not thinking twice about it. Interesting. Interesting. I would imagine that it kind of feels like, you know, even like correcting your something as little as correcting your form in the gym. Like I said, the gym is a very vulnerable place for people to be and work out and sweat and look ugly. I would imagine for a woman that would probably feel like, even if it's just like some unsolicited workout advice, it feels like commentary like on your body almost. Again, especially since it's coming from the opposite sex. I would imagine, you know, like it kind of exists in that same realm, if that makes sense. Like I don't really know how to explain it, but I think you guys get my point. Like it's just something that you just don't say to women. You just don't comment on the physical. anything physical. You just don't comment on in real life in person. It's just not the way to. It's not a good first impression. I don't think. Now if you want to like get to know somebody, I say you actually start to drum up an actual conversation. Some people are just not approachable. You're right. You're right. She could have just kept lifting and not think twice about it. You're right about that. You're right about that. Okay, so I need to do the half smile. Next time he comes on our show, I'm gonna look out for that. I'm gonna look out for that. Tila says, I see both sides. Guys do be creeps, but maybe he did want to help. That's true. That's true. So that's where we'll leave it on that one. That's where we'll leave it on that one. But yeah, guys, let me see. Drop any questions you got in the chat. As you guys know, we do our questions at the end here. Drop any questions you got. It could be about any and everything. As I sip this here coffee. Good stuff. Good stuff. Coach says, giving an exam and laughing at these kids. Coach, I hope you didn't make that exam too hard. You say you do open notes. I think you say you do open notes quizzes, which is good for them. Lucky for them. World class. World class. This man problematic. He said, leave them sister hoodlums alone. Let them get hurt. Jeez. Jeez, man. World class. He's world class for sure. Sutton, do you know how many times a chick touched me before even talking to me? They are cap. That's crazy. You've been violated, my brother. Touching you without consent is crazy. Coach says, for your information, if she got that on in the gym, I'm a peep once. I know. Shoot me. Again, man, you gotta kind of question the intention sometimes. I mean, I said it earlier. Like if you didn't find this woman attractive or what she had on or look nice or whatever, if you didn't think she looked nice, would you even spend the time going to correct her? I don't think a lot of dudes would. World Class says, last time we had questions, I had to find out you like Kermit feet, Sutton. Just because I like frog legs does not give y'all the right, okay? It does not give y'all the right to come at me like this. I know I had a lot of hot food takes yesterday, which I don't really see as hot takes. They're just kind of, my standard. Cornbread. Potato salad. Get out of here. Sutton got a B-Day coming up Saturday. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Saturday. This Saturday, December 20th. It's my birthday. I'm going to go live that day, too. Yeah, Taurus agrees with me here. Taurus agrees. Frog legs are fire. Absolutely fire. Are frog legs worse than chitlins? Are frog legs worse than pig feet? I've never had pig feet before, so I can't really speak on that, but frog legs are pretty damn good. Not gonna lie. Sutton, nothing is hot about your taste buds. I feel like my taste buds are just fine. There we go. Back to the main. YouTube is tripping. Why'd I have to approve Ashley's comment? I don't know. Not sure. Let me see any other quick hitter stuff I want to go over before we get out of here today. What are we about? Oh, we're an hour and 10 in. Jeez. I have too much fun on these. These shows, man. People are in my mentions this morning on Twitter. What are they mentioning? Oh, I guess I could bring this up really quick. A lot of you guys are Ravens fans in here. Let me ask you this really quick. Well, Jessica says in the chat, question, do y'all wash your chicken? I would think a lot of people in here wash their chicken. Apparently, you're not supposed to. You know, I don't really mind either way, but I think a lot of people would. Tila says she does. Coach says, wait, this has been going for an hour. Yes, it has. It's been going for an hour, man. It doesn't even feel like it. Time flies when you're having fun. Not a Ravens fan until the draft. You aren't supposed to watch your chicken, so I stopped a while ago. See, some people do, some people don't. Some people do, some people don't. One of those things. But again, Ravens question, really quick, guys, really quick. A lot of people are talking about if the scenario where the Ravens win on Sunday and the Steelers lose or whatever. I think that's the scenario. Then it makes week 17 basically pointless, and all the marbles for the division comes down to week 18 in Pittsburgh. And a lot of people are saying, like, okay, if that happens, should we rest the starters week 17 and basically give Lamar Jackson and company 2 weeks to prepare for what's basically going to be a playoff game in Pittsburgh week 18? Do you think that they should or will they rest the starters week 17 if that comes to fruition? Because I don't. I think that they're going to start the starters no matter what. No matter what. You guys are still talking about chicken in the chat. Who the F don't wash their chicken? You guys are funny. You guys are funny. But no, I don't think that in any scenario, while you guys are talking about that, I don't think in any scenario will this Ravens team end up not starting Lamar, especially if they win against the Patriots. They're going to want to keep this team hot. They're going to want to keep this team rolling with momentum going into the playoffs. I think that suits them better, honestly, than letting them sit for a week and get cold. You know, and I think that Harbaugh has the same sort of philosophy. I do. We are booty coming off bye weeks. That's a fact. Shoot, go back to 2019. We look terrible. Oh my Lord. We talking about stinks. Wow. That's what we doing, y'all. All right, y'all. I think we're gonna go ahead and leave it there for this episode of the show. Appreciate all y'all for coming out. This is episode 6 of Sutton Reactions. Make sure you guys like this video. Please leave a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel as well. That helps us out a ton here at PRP. And then also, if you want to subscribe to the Sutton Reactions channel, which this show will be exclusively streaming on pretty darn soon, make sure you subscribe to Sutton Reactions on YouTube as well, exactly how it's spelled down below there. If you want to send topics, you can send them to @SuttonDef on Twitter or Instagram. Appreciate that. And yeah, I will see you guys later. Stay positive, test negative. Never ever forget to call God